I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 116. Just a reminder before we start that you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, YouTube, and Vero at Rated G for Gamers. You can always email us at info@ratedgforgamers.com. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino. This is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster, formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Oh, I got some beef right now. I'm a little bit salty. My cholesterol is high. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get ready.
What? How you get cholesterol and salt?
Yeah, because you have too much salt in you have too much salt intake. Your cholesterol goes up.
Okay.
Right? No? Am I wrong?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I don't think they go hand in hand.
I think they do. I don't
think they're connected like that. No.
Listen. Dr. Rotino over here with his 29 damn PhDs is telling you that salt is raising your cholesterol.
Listen, I just play video games and I work in the legal field for a living. I'm not a doctor.
I see. You're not a doctor.
Only when it comes to love. Dr. Love.
Ah, Dr. Love. Is he in the house today? Is he in the house?
He's not making a house call today.
He's not making a house call today. All right. Fair enough. Okay.
So why are you salty? Tell me why you're salty.
I am salty because Goodwill is on a whole nother level right now. I walked into Goodwill the other day, and guess how much I saw a copy of John Madden Football 4?
50 cents.
You kidding me?
That's really how much it's worth. 50 cents.
It is. Every single copy. Up until the most recent version is worth 50 cents. The newest version, maybe $5. I saw a copy of Madden. It may have been Madden 14 or 13 or whatever. $9. $9 for a old sports game.
Whoa. It was 2014. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, but who wants 2014? You can get it for $5 on Amazon. Or not Amazon, GameStop used. Why would I pay $9 at Goodwill for it?
Maybe
make any
brand
sense? Even still.
Was it sealed?
Oh, they had some sealed copies, but not that one. It was $9, man. It was crazy. Well, I was like,
Wait, you know why I'm salty?
Why?
Because I think a GameStop employee lied to me.
Oh, well, that's not a surprise. About what?
So so during the week, I was like, wait, the Duke controller from Hyperkin came out, right? They were supposed to come out on the 30th.
Right.
I looked online, nobody had it. So
right.
I'm like, what the mother, like, what do you mean you don't have it? Like, this is ridiculous. And I saw
it got delayed though, didn't it?
Huh?
It got delayed, I heard. Am I wrong?
I listen. I was listening to a podcast from IGN, the Xbox podcast, Unlocked, Ryan McCaffrey. Great podcast if you like all Xbox news. And then he's like, "Hey, it's out now, right?" And maybe he got the news. Maybe he didn't get the news in time when he did the show. He's like, "It's out now. We unboxed it like a month ago because they got a copy ahead of time." I call GameStop and I'm like, "Hey, what's up? I don't see it in stock. You guys sold out already? It's only been a day, right? Like it's May 1st.
Right."
He's like, "Oh, it got delayed." I was like, "Doesn't say delayed anywhere. Like, where's the messaging? Like, tell people it got delayed. I don't see anything that says it got delayed. You just can't pre-order it anymore." Right. And I didn't see anything anywhere that said it got delayed. So I think the messaging is off.
Maybe. I mean, I've certainly heard those reports that it was delayed in shipping. I mean, I'll tell you this: I don't know why you want the big ass Duke controller. I'm sorry.
What? Listen, but okay. I love the original Xbox.
Yeah, I know.
Xbox
You and like two other people. It's insane.
Add like 5 zeros to that. Okay, the original Xbox has a cult following. We love it.
Yeah, a cult following, as in it's not universally loved, as in it is not a good console.
We're not going to get in. It's a console that changed the game. It was the Dreamcast 2 for someone who likes the Dreamcast. Okay, it was the Dreamcast 2. All right. We're not gonna get into that right now. Okay, we're not gonna get into the Xbox discussion. Or OG
right,
Xbox
but again, I'm just saying, like, as a product as a whole, whether it was delayed or not delayed or this and that, like, I just find it very weird that you're like so hyped about the Hyperkin.
I want the controller. I think the controller is super.
Are you
cool.
gonna actually use it, or are you just gonna put it up on the shelf?
Yes, no, I'm gonna use it. Listen, we're gonna play it way out.
All right.
With me playing the Duke controller.
You can just do controller. I'm sorry. Like, no shade, no jokes, no like whatever. It's the controller is just way too big. It's not my jam. It's not.
Well, maybe your hand's too small. I got big hands. You know, the controller fits my hands.
That is definitely not it. I have sufficiently big hands. All right.
Says who? Who says your hands are sufficiently big?
Take a look at my hands and tell me they're dainty. All right. The next time you see me, tell me honestly that my hands are dainty.
You got some midget hands, okay? I got basketball. Wow,
hands. that is mildly offensive.
I got basketball hands.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, that's funny.
So, all right. As a side note, did you know? Because I didn't know this. There's a video game awards, like a video game. No, not a video game awards. A video game Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I did not know this existed.
I want to say that we
talked about this.
I want to say tangentially we talked about this a while ago.
I don't think we ever talked about this. I got to be honest. I never knew there was a video game Hall of Fame.
I want to say we did because I remember a lot of these inductees. You know,
you remember the inductees because they're great games that stood the test of some of them stood the test of time.
Right. Well, they're also super recent. You know, it only goes back as far as 2015. Right? That's as far as it goes. So I mean, like, you got some luminaries. They have World of Warcraft is in here, Tetris, Super Mario Brothers.
I think World of Warcraft was the first game that they inducted.
Yeah. Space Invaders, Sonic, The Sims. You know, Pong is in here. You know, there's not a lot of games, but there are like key games that are in here. Final Fantasy VII, of course, great game. It's very interesting.
Well, it's crazy. I mean, Tomb Raider. I think Tomb Raider is in here as well.
Yep. Tomb Raider's in here.
Right. That's crazy that this is. I mean, I'm glad it's a thing. I just never knew it existed. I mean, we do have a video game awards. It used to be the VGAs. Now it's just the Game Awards, but. I would have never guessed it was a Hall of Fame. Like who votes them in? Like, is this a thing that's like all the industry heads, like they vote in who goes into the Hall of Fame?
I feel like this feels very much like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, they have a committee or whatever that decides on things or votes up nominations and this and that, and you know, either people get to vote or like the committee gets to vote on who gets to go in and you know whatever else. I mean, it just, you know, it feels like that for video games, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is a little bit different, but I think it's a good thing all around, right?
No, listen, I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. I'm just saying it's something that I would have never even thought of. Like I would have never guessed. I mean,
right. But it makes sense, you know, it makes sense to have a museum to nominate, you know, games that really kind of meant something.
I mean, you know, Donkey Kong, the arcade, is in here. Doom is in here.
Yep. Good stuff.
Doom, I guess, was one of the first entries, inductees, I should say, in 2015. Final Fantasy VII, like you said, Grand Theft Auto 3, Halo.
Yep.
Combat Evolved. John Madden Football that costs $9 in Goodwill.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
I guess the original for the Sega Genesis was inducted this year.
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda was inducted. Oregon Trail was inducted. Pac-Man, Pokemon Red and Green, and Pong.
Yeah, they're all like, you know, the best of the best. And it's only going to keep growing, you know, like there's a game that's not on here, you know, you don't see Minecraft on here or, you know, you don't see like Half-Life on here. Like they're definitely coming. Like there's only like It's only like 3 years old.
What I would love to know, and we have to do maybe different research on it. I mean, what's the criteria to even get to even be nominated? Like, who nominates a game to be in the Hall of Fame? You know,
right. I mean, look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, it's like, why are like the Beatles in there? Like, well, they had an impact. You know, there's like a quantifiable impact on the industry, and you can kind of trace down like, well, all these games have influenced, or all these bands have been influenced by this particular game or artist or whatever. And it goes, well, yeah, sure, and they sold millions and millions and billions of records and had all these #1 hits and whatnot. So like you factor all that in, and
well, I got to be honest. It
feels pretty easy.
So, I got to be honest. I'm confused about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like, it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? Like, it's not the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, but Tupac is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's right. That's right. It's expanded out. Run DMC is in there.
Run DMC is in a Hall of Fame. It's like, they should rename it the Music Hall of Fame.
I mean, that's ideally what it is. I think they're trying to be like all inclusive in the situation.
Except for country music, because they already have the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Right. Well, I mean, there is that, yeah. But I think that's a little bit more geared exclusively towards country music. Like, Tupac is not going to be in the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Tupac was not a rock and roll artist. He was a hip hop artist. It is now its own. It is its own category.
Do they have a hip hop Hall of Fame?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Well, if they don't, you know what we need to do.
Welcome to Rated M for Music Podcasting.
Rated M for Music Podcasting. Yeah.
I was just shocked that there was a video game Hall of Fame. And it's been around for like 4 years.
Yeah. I'm definitely not shocked in the least. I mean,
I got to be honest.
Sense.
They should be connected to the video game award. Like, things should be connected somehow. Like, the video game awards, the VGAs or the Game Awards should be connected to the Video Game Hall of Fame. Like, at least tell me what the names of the inductees are during the Game Awards, right? I think that would be an awesome sort of segment to have.
They could do that, but I personally think it's a completely different affiliation. They shouldn't. No.
I'm okay with it being different affiliation. I think.
Oh, you just want to be like, here's what the nominees are this year.
It should be the Hall of Fame is something big, right? Like, when people go into the NFL Hall of Fame, that's the start of the NFL season, right? Like, you got the Hall of Fame game, right?
Mm-hmm.
The NBA Hall of Fame, even though the NBA doesn't really take, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. They don't really take. They won't have any control or any connection to the Basketball Hall of Fame, even though some people argue that they should, because everybody gets in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Right.
It's a big deal, right? I feel like the Video Game Hall of Fame isn't a big deal. Like, I've never even heard of this, and it's been around for 4 years, right?
Well, 4 years is not a lot of time, man. 4 years is nothing. It's like a drop in the hat.
I know, but
the NFL Hall of Fame has been around for like 30, 40 years at least.
I know, but there's no fanfare for it. Right, like I never heard. Listen, I've been going on IGN and GameSpot for like years, right? And I've never heard a peep about the Video Game Hall of Fame. If they did mention it, then it was like it got buried.
Right.
I'm saying the Video Game Hall of Fame should be something big. Even I want them to have their own affiliation from the Game Awards, but they should have some tie-in to where it's like the nominees the inductees should be announced, or there should be a video package for it. There should be something at the Game Awards to make it feel like something.
Well, I'm with you there. I think that would be kind of neat, to kind of bring it to light a little bit more. For sure.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dave, as we always try to start the show and epically fail, what have you been playing?
Well, I mean, 13 minutes in is technically still the start of the show. So I don't know. I wouldn't say we failed this time.
Okay, we didn't epically fail, but we just failed.
Okay, fine. On the Dave scale, it was like an fail.
Okay, we failed. It's still a fail, no matter what.
Yeah. So obviously, still God of War. Still chopping people down with the axe of Kratos.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
No spoilers.
Oh boy.
But this will tell me where you are in the game. Is the axe the only weapon you have?
It is.
Okay. All right. Then I know where you are in the game.
I see. So I'm assuming I'm a little bit further behind than where you are.
You're a lot further behind.
Well, you know, I'm trying, man.
Still, you're still trying to collect the light, and that is.
I'm over in Alpha, man. I'm trying to get the light with the Bifrost and all that.
Oh yeah, I'm way past the Bifrost.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, I'm definitely jamming on that. And we finally got A Way Out to work.
Yes,
we were playing A Way Out co-op with the one copy of the game that you own, and I am playing as a guest. And it is great.
Well, let me ask you a question. How do you like it so far? We're only I think we only spent like an hour or so, hour and a half in.
Sure.
2 hours max. I don't think we spent that much time in it when we were still in jail.
Yeah.
So how do you like it?
I think it's great. I mean, there's not, in terms of like replayability and whatever else, there's like zero because it's the same stuff you do like each time, but I think it's great. I think the story's great. Kind of the interactions between Vincent and Leo are great. The puzzles are pretty good. They're not that challenging, so you can kind of get through it.
Well, you are the calm and collective. You want to talk everything out. Me, I just want to go fight. I just want to fight my way through.
Yeah. You get into trouble, I get you out of trouble. And that's how it works. That's how the jam goes.
Actually, how it went in the first hour. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil the game, but for someone, my character is supposed to be the one that wants to brawl his way through. I had to do a lot of sneaking around, which you know how much I love my stealth games.
Yeah, but I
was complaining the whole way through,
right?
As I had to do the stealth missions, and I'm like,
I know.
I gotta be the one stealth.
But we're having a good time with it. I think it's great. It's a nice little piece. It's
we have to work together. That's the thing. Like if we don't work together, we're not gonna win.
Yeah,
we're not gonna progress.
Yeah. Would you say it's a little expensive or no? Price wise for the amount of game you get, because it's only supposed to be like 5-6 hours.
It's $30, and it's $30. It cost me $30 upon release. I got it when it first came out.
Yep.
I would say no, not. I think the price range is perfect because it's an experience where we have to play together and we got to figure it out. I mean, it's not like it was easy. Like we died a handful of times because we were like, oh my god, what do we have to do? I was like, all right, well, you stated we have to strategize together, right? So, and only one person needs to buy the game, so I think it's a perfect price point for a new game to come out. I mean, obviously, it can't be $30 next year, or maybe during the holidays. It should be like $20, $10. But I think it's a perfect price point for a brand new game.
Really,
I like it, and we thought the visuals were great. Right?
The game looks good and all that, but for the amount of gameplay you get out of the game, even though you can share it, you have to play it with somebody else.
Well, you have to play it with someone else.
You cannot do a co-op.
I could not play it by myself. It was sitting on my shelf collecting dust until we figured out how to get you on.
Yeah, right.
But
it's good. I mean, if it was like $10 less, I would be more inclined to like just pick it up. But I'm happy it's not a $60 game. I'm happy it's not a $60 game.
Right. It wouldn't be worth $60, but for the because we have to work together, it is not something that you can go off on your own and I can go off on my own, but we're not going to progress, right? Like we can explore, we can do there is a slight sort of like exploration. To where I could say, oh, what do I do here? What do you do here? And you're like, what are you doing? I'm stuck. And I got to like come get you, right? Or vice versa. So I think because of that, I think the price point is on point. $30 for a brand new game that you have to play co-op and you don't have to buy the game. Right. Where if you had to buy the game, it would have been a $60 game. I think it's perfect.
All right. Yeah. So so that's what I've been playing. I want to know what you've been playing.
So we already talked about it. We've been playing A Way Out co-op on the Xbox. I'm still in God of War. My grown man gamer life has gotten away this week. Boy. Haven't really played a lot of God of War until like the last 2 days. No real spoilers. I'm just gonna say I'm back in hell. That tells you where I am.
Well, that's a little bit of a spoiler.
I said no real. I mean, it's a spoiler, but not a real spoiler.
Well, it's out there now. Sorry, folks. Dan Robinson, spoiler of games. That is your new nickname.
That isn't, that's okay, Dan.
I didn't know
Dan,
you ruined that for me. I didn't know you went to hell, and now I know you go back to hell. It's very interesting.
Well, there you go. There you go. Sometimes you go to heaven, sometimes you go to hell.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
I've been playing Max: The Curse of the Brotherhood. I finally came out with an actual physical release. I had it for Xbox. I had it digitally for the Xbox One.
Yeah, I played it for Xbox One too. It was okay.
I got stuck halfway in the game. Right. I think I made it play. I've played maybe 6 hours. And I got stuck on a puzzle I couldn't get out. I don't even know where I am anymore. Right. But I got the physical release for the Switch.
Right.
And I've been playing Super Mario Run on my phone.
That is interesting. What prompted you to go back and play Mario Run?
I sporadically have been playing Mario Run, but I've really been playing Mario Run because they have the remix levels. So when you first play Mario, when you pay $10, you get all the levels. Mm-hmm. You get a ticket for they give you a ticket. I have 90 tickets. What am I doing with these tickets right now? Yeah. You use a ticket to play the remix levels, which it's just same levels you played already, just sort of remixed where they sort of slightly change, and you have to get the special special coins. Right. It's just something I play while I'm on the train going to work or coming home from work.
Cool.
I usually play Sonic Boom, which is an endless runner for Sonic, which I kind of enjoy. Sonic but Mario is just a better game.
Isn't it
even
Sonic
on
Rush?
mobile.
Sonic Rush?
Yes, Sonic Rush.
Sonic Boom is a Switch game.
Well, no, they have a Sonic Boom too. They actually have a Sonic Rush. That's like a Sonic Boom. It's Sonic Dash, and it's Sonic Boom 2. And I actually have Sonic CD on my phone too, but since I don't have any buttons on my phone, it's kind of weird to play a real Sonic CD on mobile.
I know, man. That's why actual handheld consoles are so much better, because you can play just about any game on there.
So, you any good pickups this week?
I did, actually. It was a pretty good week for pickups. Got Dead Island on the PS3 for $2. Not a great game. Not a good game. It's a game.
I think it's a good game.
It's a game. I'll give it that. Mighty Number 9 for the Wii U, right? NBA 2K15 for Xbox One. And the surprise pickup is Lagoon for the Super Nintendo.
I didn't even remember that came out for the Super Nintendo.
SNES cart, out in the wild, top-down action RPG. It's a good game. Came out early in the Super Nintendo life cycle. Found it at a vintage clothing store, right? Surprise, surprise.
The best place to get them.
Very happy about that. Yeah. Oh, and also I found another copy of Super Mario Brothers 2. Loose, but the label was in great condition, so I picked it up. So yeah. Pretty solid. How about you?
I got a few pickups this week. I got Turok 2 for the N64. Wasn't a big fan of Turok, but I have Turok 1. So you know how I like to complete my sets. So I had to pick up Turok 2 for the N64. Guerrilla War for the NES. Space Invaders. I like Space Invaders. I actually, funny enough, had Space Invaders for the Game Boy when I was a kid. So I had to pick that up for the Game Boy. Have that. You already know. I already talked about. I have Max: The Curse of the Brotherhood on the Switch, and I think, and I could be wrong, but I think I have the complete God of War set now because I have God of War Sagas, the game that I didn't have for the PS3, and now I have that.
Well, Sagas was a compilation, right?
Compilation of all 5 games.
Right.
Yeah. So now I have that. I have GT Special Forces for the Game Boy Advance. That was a Radical Reggie Game Boy Advance hidden gem. I think on the Metal Jesus channel.
Sure.
I have a Samus GameCube controller for the Wii U. So now I have 3 GameCube controllers for the Wii U.
Very nice.
I would say my prize, the biggest pickup I got was Bucky O'Hare for the NES.
That game goes for a chunk of change.
It does. I love the cartoon.
Yeah, it was good.
The game, definitely 100 plus. Paid less than 100. It's real. I've seen the insides. It's real. paid less than 100. Still think I paid too much. Because that game is hard as balls.
Right.
If you watch the Angry Video Game Nerd at all or Cinemassacre, that game is hard. I got the Pokken Tournament Pro Pad Pikachu. Say that 10 times fast for the Wii U, because I love Pokken. I love my Pokken Tournament.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Right. So I got I don't think this is a limited edition, but I got the Pikachu version. It came down in price a little bit. I got what some can say is the best Bomber. I can't even say with a straight face. It's not the best Bomberman game. It's the worst.
I was just
game.
about to pull your card on that one.
Act Zero for the
you got the worst Bomberman game.
You know what? I don't even know why people think it's the worst. Why do you think it's the worst? Just because it's like the art style is sort of like more dark and gritty, instead of like cartoony.
Well, it's that. It's the camera angle. It's the whole presentation of the game. The single player is just bland. The levels are bland. There's nothing good about that game.
Well, you know what? I own it now. I can try it out for myself.
Fair enough.
I got to ball number 1.
Oh, that was a SquareSoft game, man.
SquareSoft
Final
game.
Fantasy put out.
I think to ball number 2 was Japanese only.
I believe you're right. Yeah.
To ball number 1, actually, it was a dual disc where the second disc was Final Fantasy 2 demo. I don't have that.
Final Fantasy 7 demo. That's right.
Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
It had a Final Fantasy 7 demo. I don't have that. So if anybody has that Final Fantasy 7 demo, I can complete my Ball 1. I have Urban Champion for the NES. Mm-hmm. Trying to bolster my NES collection. I think I have like
Urban
160 NES games now.
60, not bad.
400, 500 more to go. Tekken Advance for the Game Boy Advance. I know you love Tekken. You're a big Tekken fan. I think I have all the Tekken games now.
Nice.
Tekken Advance was the only one I didn't have. Urban Chaos for the PS1. Never heard of this game. Got it cheap.
It's not bad.
Our friend Anthony, who was our first guest on the show, he actually thought this was a PS1 hidden gem. He hit us up on Instagram.
Our second guest on the show. You lest you forget Steven.
Our second guest on the show, Anthony.
It's all good. I have to put this man in check every now and again.
Well, listen. We had we've had a handful of guests. I always forget who was first. And
I know. Fair enough.
I got Mega Man 4 for free.
Oh, get out of here with that for free.
You
got points from Lukey because you bought a bunch of games.
I want to get out.
Bought a bunch of games.
I want to give a shout out to Lukey Games.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because because my account was debited $0 from Mega Man 4, the original cart for NES. Surprise! I've never played or owned Wii Sports.
Mm-hmm.
I know
that's very surprising.
One of the I guess fastest or highest selling games of all time because it came with every Wii.
Right. So every time you bought a Wii, you bought Wii Sports with it. Yeah.
Yes. Well, the Wii that I own, I originally brought for my little sister for Christmas years ago. Have no idea what she did with the Wii Sports. Just no idea what she did with the Wii Sports. So I've never played it, and I guess technically I never owned it because I bought it for her years ago. So now I own the Wii. I own Wii Sports, and I picked up Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch with a 120 gigabyte micro SD card for the Switch.
You were going to download a lot of indie titles?
I'm not going to drunkenly download a lot of indie titles, but I got tired of like erasing stuff.
Right. Yeah, you got to like shuffle everything around. Oh, I got to download this game and I got to delete this game. Yeah.
I literally had to
delete
play that game. NBA 2K18 because I had no more space left.
Right.
I had no more space left. And the reason why I haven't played NBA 2K18 is because I had to delete it.
Right.
So, you know what? I had to get a bigger hard drive. And I had a 32 gig card. Now I have a 128 gig card.
Oh, very nice. That's how you do it.
So, So, I would say Bucky O'Hare was my most prized pickup this week.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
That's a hard game, pricey game, but I got it for a good price.
Nice.
But why don't we take a break here, and when we come back, we're into the top 10 gaming news of last week.
And in the convo of the week, we talk Avengers Infinity War.
And we're back. All right, let's get into the top 10 gaming news of last week. Now, we're both collectors.
Yep.
You know, it's in our blood. We love having actually, you know, tangible games in our hand. We're not completely a part of that digital age.
Right. Right. Trying to hold it off as much as possible.
Trying to hold it off as much as possible. It's inevitable, but you know, I'm resistant to change. I'm sorry. When that Street Fighter Anniversary Edition came out last year, that was, you know, $100. I think you know, I Am 8-Bit came out with that. It was an official release.
Yeah, the one that could burn your system up.
It was just a warning label. You know, they have to put it out there. I mean,
yeah. Sorry, you know, this cartridge may cause your system to catch on fire.
I know. I know.
I don't think I want to take that chance. I don't want to pay $100 for the possibility of a fire in my house.
Well, you know what? You could just go to Lukey Games and get a new Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it at the time.
Right.
They didn't really hold their value either, because you could buy it on eBay for like $80.
Right. It went down a little bit. Yeah. Surprisingly, you know, I think it's limited edition. It's going to go up, but not always.
But Capcom and I Am Bit have come back they've come back again to put out Mega Man. We got Mega Man 2 for the NES. Anniversary edition. It's the 38th anniversary of Mega Man, by the way. Right. You got Mega Man 2 for the NES and Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo. Both $100 a piece. You get so you get a new SNES and NES cartridge.
Right.
You get limited edition, you know, art book and stuff, and some of them, just like the Super Nintendo. I mean, just like the Street Fighter one, some cartridges. Very few, limited, sort of picked at random, will be glow in the dark. And I think the glow in the dark ones actually hold their value, because I think they're like $120-$30 online if you want.
Yeah, well, those are like super rare. So like 1 in every 8 is going to be a glow in the dark one. You don't know if you're going to get that or not. It's just kind of random when they send them out, so it's kind of a crapshoot.
Well, it kind of sucks. Is what if you don't want that one? What if you want the gray SNES card, or if you want the blue NES card?
Well, then you got to order 2, man. I don't know. You got to order 2.
Can you go in and be like, hey, please don't send me the limited edition one?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Do they have a little like comment section in there? Like, please, I want the OG one. Why would you not want the glow in the dark one though? That's what I'm saying. Unless you want it too.
Maybe because the gray just goes with all the other all the light. All the SNES cards are sort of like a regular grayish. This SNES card of Mega Man X is sort of like a light gray, so it doesn't fit.
Yeah, it looks a little different. Yeah.
How do you feel about this? Because I'm still not going to buy this. I mean, at its core, it's a repro, right? Because I already own it.
It is 100% a repro. Yeah. Like, it's a very high quality repro for sure. You know.
Yeah.
And like, look, I'm not saying, I don't think you're saying this either, that people shouldn't buy this because it's a repro or whatnot. By all means, you want it, go out there and get it. You know, we're not saying that, but I have Mega Man X. I don't have Mega Man 2, sadly. That's very expensive. But
I have Mega Man 2 and Mega Man X.
And you know, like worst case, I can just emulate Mega Man 2, you know. Perish the thought, but I'm just saying, like, you can definitely play these games. They're not necessarily hard to come by. I'm probably going to hard pass on them too, honestly, because like you said, they don't necessarily retain their value, you know?
So, I mean, as of right now, they don't retain the value. We don't know what it will be 10 years from now, right? Because that's the test of time, right? Like, when things come out and it's not a thing anymore, it's like it may be a little cheaper, maybe time to pick it up. But once time passes and it becomes like super rare, that's when it gets expensive. Right. I already own the original release of these games, the original carts.
Yeah,
spending $100, it's really $110.
Okay. If you didn't own the original carts, would you buy these? You know, like, take that out of the equation, or would you just get the original ones?
Probably not, because the originals are probably they're not probably the originals are cheaper. The originals are, I think Mega Man 2 you can get for like $50, $60. Right. And Mega Man X the same. If I'm gonna spend 100 plus, maybe $110, $15, I'm gonna get Mega Man for Sega Saturn, a game I don't have, a game I don't own and I want, right?
Yeah.
I would love to bolster my Sega Saturn collection. So probably not. I think I'm gonna pass on these.
Yeah, same.
So we already got, again, these are sort of repro games. Nintendo is pulling on nostalgia strings. We got the NES Classic, we got the SNES Classic, which we both own.
That's right.
It looks like SNK Neo Geo Mini is coming out too. They're throwing SNK is throwing their hat in the ring with these little mini classic editions, right? So, but they're doing it a little bit differently, because this looks like a mini arcade stand, which kind of is awesome, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it looks kind of
totally
cool.
Different. They teased something. They teased it a while ago, right? We talked about a few episodes ago, but now I think we got the full reveal where it's like a little arcade stand.
It does have HDMI out, so you don't have to stare at the tiny little screen. Do we know if it do we know if it has controller support, like Bluetooth controller support?
Well, it has like a joystick gamepad port on the side.
It does, yeah. Okay, so that's like important.
Well, what's more important is the games that are coming out. We have King of Fighters. 95, 97, 98, 2000, and 2002, and Art of Fighting.
Yep.
Which is a game that came out for the Super Nintendo, and I think it came out for Genesis too, which I have. Fatal Fury Special. A lot of games that came out. Metal Slug 1, 2, and 3. Why King of Monsters 2 and not the original King of Monsters? A little weird. Yeah. Metal Slug X, Metal Slug 4 and 5, and Ghost Pilots, which I think is a underrated game, and Football Frenzy, which is
just to kind of mix things up a little bit.
Definitely mix things up. There are a lot of games on it. There's 40 games built in.
Yep, it's mostly fighting games and shooters and beat 'em ups. That's really what was on.
The Neo Geo.
Like, that was pretty much it. And there's a couple of randos, like the football game you said. I think there's a golf game on here. Maybe top players golf is on here. Super Sidekicks is their like one soccer game. So it's interesting. It's a solid mix. It's a solid mix. I think I'm going to pick this up. I'll tell you that.
I mean 40 games. First of all, this is put out by SNK. Right. Yep. That's the good thing. So they're controlling their product, not like Sega, where they license it to a third party.
Right.
So that's a good thing. They're taking control. Neo Geo Classic Edition, right? 40th anniversary, 40 games being released. They bread and butter were putting out great arcade games, so they have sort of like a gimmick, because this is sort of like an arcade style little mini where you could play it on a little screen, and I think the screen is just as big as like a Game Boy Advance clamshell, and you can plug it into your TV, which I'm most likely going to do. So you can do this is sort of like a Switch, right? You can play it on the go, or you can play it on your big TV.
Well, I don't know if you can play it on the go. I don't think it's battery powered. I don't think it's battery powered.
Wait.
It has DC input. It has a power cord.
SNK Switch, man. This is an SNK Switch. That's what this is.
It is not the SNK Switch. You have to be near a power outlet. There's nothing like this.
Don't take this away from me. This is SNK
take what away from you?
Don't take this away from me. This was my idea. SNK Switch. Damn it.
All right. You go ahead and have fun with that idea.
This is the only way I can play World of Heroes perfect.
World Heroes perfect. Yeah. Portable. As long as I'm near an outlet, I'm good.
There you go. Funny. Okay. My trains have outlets. Okay. This is my SNK Switch. I think this is great. I love it. I'm going to buy it. I would love to buy an original Neo Geo, but they're just so damn expensive in the car. Man.
Forget it.
They're so expensive.
Carts are like $200 a pop at least. They're like at retail. They're at retail price when they first came out, at least, if not more.
Well, because The carts were actually the huge things that they would put in the arcade machines.
Yep.
Right. So that's why it's so expensive. That's crazy. All right. So we talked about the minis and the classic systems, and Atari had the plug and plays, the horrible plug and plays. And they were grossly, to me, grossly expensive. They're like $40-$50. I think those plug and plays for Atari this should be like $20, to be honest. And now that Toys R Us, rest in peace, is going under, hopefully the prices have come down drastically to where you can buy them for $20. But we have to talk about this atrocious Atari VCS.
Yeah, the new very cool looking VCS.
This is our lead story, Atari VCS. And the reason why it's our lead story, because it has the nerve. Pre-orders are going back live on my birthday, May 30th. How dare they? How dare they put the pre-orders on my birthday, May 30th? They insult my birthday.
How did they not know? How did they not know?
Okay, I'll be 36, and you can officially pre-order your from Indiegogo. Your Atari VCS.
See, the thing of it is, though, it's not coming out till 2019, so you have to wait basically a year to get this thing, which people still don't really know anything about. It's still kind of a mystery. All signs point to no. It's like $300 something, I think, right? We talked about the price point before.
Well, you can get, if your early adopters, was $200 for the non-wood.
Oh,
the one that's all black.
Why would you not want the wood grain? That's the whole point.
It would still play. It'll still be Linux based.
Yep.
It supports 4K resolution, HDR, 60 frames per second gameplay. It has internal and external storage, built-in Wi-Fi, USB 3, and Bluetooth 5 capability. I always wanted to play Centipede in 4K.
Yeah, right. Well, now you can for a minimum of $200. Does that sound enticing? I don't know.
The biggest downfall is in 2018, a console is $200 and does not come with a controller. You have to buy the controller or the joystick.
Oh yeah, that's another big dig. Ugh.
That's ridiculous. It's separate. It's separate.
I know.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know. It should come with at least one controller, and like a pack-in game at least, or a bunch of pack-in Atari games, something.
Why is it? I don't understand why it's separate. Like that's the part that I don't understand. Like why?
Exactly. Which again, lends itself to like I don't know why people were gonna buy. I don't see anyone like jumping at the bit to buy this.
And watch, I'll be intoxicated that day, and I'll actually pay for it.
I wouldn't doubt it. You have certainly done it before.
I know. Boom Night. Are one of our number one fans on Instagram. I still have not played any of the indie games I drunkenly purchased on my Switch.
There you go. You got to get on that. Man.
I have it. It's there. I just need to finish God of War first. So all right. Every time you get a console, no matter if it's the Atari VCS or a Nintendo Switch, there's always sort of like a sticker on it that says you void the warranty if you sort of crack it open yourself, right? Like they want if it's broken, they want you to go to them to fix it. You can only go back to the same manufacturer to fix it. Apparently, the FTC says this is illegal, and they're putting the screws to Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo over that warranty language, and they're giving them 30 days to remove it from all consoles.
Right.
Because they say this is crap. They're saying you have the right to go to anybody you want to fix it, and if that third party can't fix it, you can go back to Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft to fix the console. If it's within that 1 year warranty, obviously.
Right. Well, this is definitely fantastic. This is great. This means you can go to any third party repair shop, have them like try and fix it. If things go south, you're still covered by Nintendo or Microsoft or Sony, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid.
I remember. I mean, listen, I studied pre-law. You know, didn't finish law school. Still working in the legal field. I remember one of the first things when I first started studying law in my undergrad. One of the first things my professor said, "I know you have 30 days to take back whatever product to the retailer, but you have 1 year from every manufacturer by law. That manufacturer must fix your product if it's faulty." And I guarantee you, if you've had your product for 6 months and you call the manufacturer up directly, they will do everything they can to fix it for you, right? So this sort of makes sense. So if I go to a third party and they can't fix it, it doesn't matter what it is. If I have jeans and they rip, and I go to my mom or I go to a seamstress to sew it and they can't sew it back, I can go back to the manufacturer and they have to fix it for me. This I can understand this. What will be Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo's response, right? Because forever, like Sony, I mean, like Nintendo, like their portables, they always, I think I sent in my 3DS to get fixed, and one of the questions it has it been touched by a third party? And obviously, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
And they can tell, right? They can tell if someone opened it up, but I had nobody open it up. My screen was cracked, and I needed to be fixed. I would say this is a good thing. I can go to anybody I want if they offer a cheaper price.
Yeah, that's great for us.
So, all right, let's stick with Nintendo. So Nintendo, I mean, listen, all of these guys, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, I'm sure they deal with frivolous lawsuits all the time, right? Like that's the price of being as big as you are, right? Like people are going to challenge you because they want to pay out. And I think we've talked about it. Game Vice was challenging Nintendo, in a lawsuit over a patent for like the Joy-Con controllers, right? Because I guess the Game Vice sort of had like a patent out there to put sort of detachable controllers to cell phones, right? And they look like weird switches. And now they're trying to put a cease and desist on the sale of switches in the U.S. Now, they don't really want the cease and desist of switches in the U.S. They want to pay out. They want Nintendo to pay them off, right? Somebody should tell them, though, Nintendo historically is not quick to pay people off. They are quick to fight any battle, any legal battle there is. So this could potentially be an issue with Switch sales in the future, but I don't think it'll be a big issue. I honestly don't. I think Nintendo will fight this to the core, and at the end of the day, if they want, they can pay them off, right? But I don't think this is going to be a big issue. People actually made this an issue online maybe like 4 or 5 days ago, where it's like, hey, this could be an issue selling Switches in the US. But listen, Game Vice doesn't want you. They don't want to stop the sale of Switches. They want the money. They want
to get the money, right? Well, the thing of it is, like I guess if Game Vice wins, then Game Vice gets a percentage of all the sales, right? Of Switches. Yes. Is that how that works? Okay.
Well, they would have a percentage of all sales, or they can cease and desist of selling the Switches, which they wouldn't do because they wouldn't profit from it.
They wouldn't make any money on it. Right. They really just want to make money on this. Yeah. Yeah. Which is kind of upsetting. I mean, I get kind of where they're coming from. If they actually just wanted to protect their IP, like that's kind of one thing. Like, hey, we have this product. Your product is hurting our product. Please stop selling this product because we came out with it first, and you're infringing on our patent and whatever. And Nintendo's like, well, no, because we're Nintendo, right? Then it's like, all right, fine. These guys kind of have something to stand on, but I don't really think Game Vice is like pushing hard on their kind of mobile attachment devices, right? Like, I don't know how much they're being hurt by the Switch sales.
How many Game Vice devices have you seen?
Zero. I would probably say zero.
Yeah, same here. Zero.
So there you go. Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, I would say it's not a big deal in the sense that I think we will continue to see Switch sales go up. I just don't think it's a big deal. Like, they're not looking to stop the Switch. They want Nintendo to pay them out. But I think Nintendo is going to fight this until they see, like, if they see that they can't win, that's when they'll look for, make a deal.
Right.
So I don't think this will be a big deal as far as Switch sales. Switches will continue to sell. And if you can't find one, it's because it's sold out, not because they can't sell it.
Right.
So, all right. So last week we talked about the new Nintendo president coming in probably at the end of June. I'm horrible with names, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Just because I'm horrible with names in general. You know what? I mean, it's
you're not that great. You still call it TT Games, even though it's Telltale.
It's hard. I'm hard with TT Games. You know, sometimes I don't even say Dave's. I don't even say Dave's last name because sometimes it's hard to pronounce. That's just me. I can't pronounce people's names. And I work in real estate law too, so I see different names on contracts every day, and I just don't try. I tell you that. But the new president for Nintendo, the incoming president of Nintendo, was doing a Q&A where he sort of lay out a plan of attack when he sort of takes the reins of Nintendo. He does plan to expand on the company's mobile presence, which is big because Nintendo historically has sort of stayed away from Nintendo. I mean, from mobile
devices. Yeah,
they've dipped their toe into mobile devices recently, but he's looking to expand upon that, which is, you know, doing an about face on, you know, the mobile, you know, like Nintendo's just stance on mobile in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think their whole thing was like, hey, look, we already have these handhelds. They're a better experience for the games that we want to make. You know, why do we need to bother with mobile phones, which are subpar? And now mobile phones are just as good, if not more powerful than, you know, your standard handheld consoles, you know, especially the 3DS and I think even the Switch. You know, phones are like ridiculously powerful. So for Nintendo to now like jump in and be like, okay, we're gonna make some mobile games. Like people may be a little bit like, but look at the offerings they put out. Right? They put out a Mario game that was specific to mobile. They put out Mario Odyssey on the Switch, which was their, you know, portable console offering for Mario. Right? They make both people happy. Right? They make the people that have mobile phones that just want to play casual games happy. And they make the more hardcore gamers who want the big time AAA Mario game also happy. You know, they're not doing what Konami does or is doing, where they say, you know what, we're going to take a crap on all of our franchises, and you know what, you want a new Konami game? It's going to be a mobile only Konami game or a Castlevania game, right? And it's going to be awful. Like it's not going to be good. It's going to be riddled with microtransactions. It's going to be exactly what people don't want, right?
Well, he has an ambitious vision for mobile, right? Because he said he wants to grow the company mobile games into 100 billion yen, which is about 910 million US dollars.
Sure. I mean, that means you got to bring out Mario Kart, you got to bring out Zelda, you got to bring out all the heavy hitters and make mobile specific.
You can't just bring them out like you did Mario, you know, like Mario Run, right? Like you have to have.
Why not?
Well, Mario Run was sort of a success, like a critical success, but not financial success, not as successful as other mobile games because you pay one time and it's it. Where other mobile games you have to keep paying, like Sonic Rush, you have to keep paying. You pay to win. You pay to win. It's free, but you pay to win, and you can make a lot of money, and that's where the money is. And
well, they could certainly switch the business model up. I'm not saying any of that, but I mean, you know, follow that same thing. Maybe it is like, okay, free to play, you get 5 chances a day, and then if you want more chances, you have to pay money or whatever that is. You know.
Yeah. Well, if they want success, that's where it's going to be.
Right.
Like if they want to make monetary success, you're going to have to make it sort of free to play, and you pay to win, essentially, right? Like you pay to keep playing or pay to win, and that's where the money is going to be. Will Nintendo sort of pimp out their IP like that? I don't think so. I think they'll find a middle ground to where maybe you pay for like a Mario Run, and then you pay extra for more levels, right? So it's not really pay to win, but you pay to continue to play.
Right.
I think maybe that will be sort of like the middle ground for Nintendo games going forward that aren't Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing is a different, that's a different beast.
Right.
So, all right, we talked about Xbox having success with Games Pass, right? I mean, that's sort of, if you're a gamer, that's a great deal because you pay $10 a month and you have access to several games that you download and you have on your hard drive. So if you don't have internet connection, you can still play those games, which was different from PlayStation Now, where it was streaming games, right? Which we thought would be the future of gaming, right? Streaming, but not so much. Now, PlayStation Now has upgraded their library of over 600 titles, including PS2 games. Now, I like this. I like that they included PS2 games because prior to this, it was, you could play some PS3 games, you could play some PS1 games, but now you can play PS2 games. However, the pricing, I still think, is an issue for PS Now. Right. I mean, you could play Dark Cloud 2, a great RPG that people love on the PS2. You can play Hot Shots Tennis, all right? You can play Metal Slug. However, just the pricing kind of sucks.
Well, I mean, it's not the content that's the issue. It's just way too. It's double the price of what Microsoft's offering is. Right.
It is $20 a month for a month, for a month subscription, and $45 for 3 months.
Right. You get like a $15 discount. You get a $5 discount per month if you pre-order, I guess, or pay up 3 months ahead of time.
Yeah, but if you don't have a good internet, then
well, you're not going to buy it if you don't have good internet. I mean,
I mean, I guess it's okay if you're not playing like a fighting game, you're playing like an adventure game. It's okay if you have a little bit of lag, right? If you don't have great internet, but just for PS Now to be more competitive, especially now that they took it off of Sony TVs, which I think is a mistake. They should have kept it on all Sony TVs. To play PS Now, it should be $10. You have to make it at least $10. I mean, if you're not going to make it to where you can download it, you have to be competitive in the pricing when it comes to your competitors. So I think right now they should be proactive and make it $10, the same price as Game Pass.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense.
It just makes sense. All right. Next, I just want to say big middle finger to EA, or whoever at EA said single player games don't sell.
You know, I'm interested in this story. Do tell.
Because God of War sold over 3.1 million units in 3 days. It is the fastest selling PS4 exclusive. Okay, who said story-based games with no microtransactions can't sell?
Right.
Okay,
I wonder who said that.
Yeah,
this is fantastic.
I think Phil Spencer, kind of echoed those sentiments too.
Well,
and I like Phil. I personally like Phil.
I mean, I understand the multiplayer experience and whatnot, but you can't discount single player, man. And this proves it. God of War is fantastic. The game is great. It's getting high scores across the board. And now, the numbers match up to the, the critical acclaim. It just makes sense. You put a good experience out there, people will buy it. All right. It's as simple as that.
Let me just repeat myself. No microtransactions. Just a horrible crafting, horrible crafting system, but no microtransactions.
Yeah. No, it feels good.
Feels good. All right. Now, something that I've been wanting for a long time, it's my E3 prediction every year. Will we get a PSP2 / Vita 2? Because I don't know. You never know what they're going to call it.
Because you just want that to happen.
I'm going to will this into existence, damn it.
To happen. Ugh.
The latest rumor is Sony's working on a 5G portable device. Will it be a new handheld video game portable, or it's another stupid phone?
This is a very thin rumor, if you want my opinion on the matter.
Well, listen, they're saying that in the smartphone business, they're developing 5G technology, right? Now, of course, I think there will be a Sony phone. They still make Sony phones. Why? You stop making computers. Why are you still making phones? Why? Just why? I don't understand. But okay. Just make a don't do a Vita. Even though I love my Vita, I'm still the only one on Vita Island. Okay. Just make just drop the name Vita. okay, because it just has sort of like a negative connotation to it.
Well,
like,
yeah, it did not do well.
Just make a PSP2, okay? Just make a PSP2. You love numbers, okay? Like, you love numbers, right? They love numbering their systems. We essentially will see a PS5, right?
Right. Well, I mean, regardless of what they name it, right? All of this comes out of this report, right? And I quote, basically they're saying, by enabling high-speed communications, low latency, and simultaneous connectivity, 5G, which is expected to be commercialized in the near future, is a technology which we view as having immense potential since it can connect all portable devices to the cloud. In order to fully utilize the leading-edge technology, we need to retain in-house our fundamental research capability and capability to create related applications. By continuing to work on 5G in our smartphone business, we are aiming to develop 5G technology as a competency that can be used across the Sony group. So that's what we have to go. That's what we have to go on.
You know. All I heard, as you said that was we're making a PSP2 that will come out along PS5, PlayStation 5. That's all I heard. That's all I heard.
You hear what you want to hear, Dad. You hear what you want to hear. I mean, maybe I would be very happy if they did. Then it kind of give Nintendo a run for its money for sure. I feel like if this is anything, it'd be some sort of integration with the PS5, their new system, which is in production. Whether we'll hear about it this year or next year is, up to question. It's like I said again, it's very thin. There's a possibility of a PSP2. I'd be happy about that. It'd be awesome. I would definitely buy it, but I don't know. I'm not really holding my breath on that one.
Spoilers. When we do our E3 predictions, you know what I'm predicting.
I don't actually. What?
You know one of my predictions already.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna get a Sony portable. It's gonna be announced, baby. It's coming. PSP2.
You just
no Vita 2. It's gonna be a PSP. But we're gonna listen. Just like Family Matters, okay? When they just like ignored the niece and the niece never existed. Okay.
Yeah, right.
The Vita never existed. Okay?
Yeah, they just like cut her out of the show. That was so weird.
This is the PSP2. This is what this is gonna be.
Wow, yeah, it's gonna skip over the Vita. The Vita didn't happen. No,
the Vita didn't happen. Okay, the Vita didn't happen. All right, let's end the news with something that is totally left field, totally weird. I think this is hilarious. We're in the year 2018, and speaking about
that is
portable
correct.
Systems, portable systems. There are still Vitas being sold in Japan. Right? Like every month, they're an MP not MPDs, but like Japan's version of MPDs, where you could see how many systems are being sold. They sell 1,000, 2,000 a month, right?
Sure.
Like the Vita's still being sold out in Japan.
That's pretty decent. That's pretty good, actually.
Pretty decent, more than I thought would be sold.
Right.
And Vita games are still being made and still being sold. A lot of JRPGs, which I'm not really into, which is why I don't buy them. In the year 2018, MPDs have shown one person has bought a brand new Game Gear game.
Oh my God.
2018.
Oh my God.
It's rumored to be sold from Toys R Us.
Right.
And I guess because Toys are going out of business, they were liquidating. Maybe they had Sonic the Hedgehog 2, brand new for Game Gear, somewhere sitting for 20 some odd years in the inventory. It was sold. It was actually someone brought it brand new, never used.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, somebody's like, yes, I want this sealed copy of Sonic 2. I wonder how much it went for. That's the question. Could it not be like a penny? Was it not like zeroed out in the system? That's so weird.
It probably an employee who found it. It was like, oh,
maybe.
Wait, $2? Okay, I'm buying it.
I would gladly pay that. If it was brand new sealed, I'd pay upwards of like $10 for that.
Oh yeah.
Just because, come on, how could you not? How could you not?
That's
so weird.
Question. Do you think they got like some little Samsons stuck somewhere in Toys R Us?
I'll tell you this: there's apparently a guy from the Atari Age forums. I want to say I know Pat the NES Punk talked about it a while ago, and I think pretty sure this guy has has a 6-pack box of stadium events that he hasn't really like divulged to the world and whatnot. But like there were some people who were kind of going back and forth on, the price of games and this and that, and they were getting kind of like they were getting real rude about the situation, I think. And this guy came into the forum and he's like, look, guys, I have a box sealed 6 copies of stadium events. I think this is how the story went down, right? And everyone's like scrambling and running around trying to pay like $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 for these copies of stadium events, right? Because everybody thinks they're so rare, and it's like, no, look, I have some new old stock that's just sitting over here. So, and he hasn't put it out in the world because he's just not about that. But he's like, look, don't push the waters, tempt the fates or whatever. I have all this other stuff which I could easily just put out in the world and devalue your copies of those games. So, you never know. You never know. There could be some little Samson sitting around wherever.
I'm sure there are some little Simpsons sitting around ever. I mean, they printed that game, like where the game didn't sell that well. So where did all of those copies go? Did they destroy them, or did they just sit somewhere in the warehouse?
There's always the possibility they ended up in the landfill over in New Mexico or Arizona or whatever.
Then you know what? I'm getting a shovel and we'll take a road trip. Damn it.
Right. We're digging for Samson. That's
all
funny.
Right. All right, so let's get into a combo of the week. If you have not seen Avengers: Infinity War, you can stop listening now because we're gonna go full spoilers on the movie because I finally saw it last night, fresh. I saw it super early. Well, I guess this morning because the movie is super long. The movie is like 3 hours long.
Right? Yeah. No, it's a long ass movie for sure.
So,
but it was good though. I think.
It was good. You could stop now. You were warned. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There we go.
Wolverine was in Avengers.
Oh, get out of here!
I'm just kidding. Just
get out of here with that stuff. I was honestly thinking that they would have an X-Men cameo somewhere in the whole thing, but no X-Men sadly. Yeah, I think we were both pretty positive on this movie, right?
Well, you saw it a few days after it came out. I saw it a week later.
Yeah.
This movie,
I saw it that Friday. Yeah.
This was the 20th movie. Can you imagine? This was the 20th movie in the MCU.
In the MCU.
Okay, so all the movies.
Yep.
Like
led up to
this was like the culmination of all other 19 movies.
Yep. Ah, it's crazy.
That was crazy.
It's crazy.
He was amazing. He was
a great villain.
By far the best villain in the MCU.
Kilgore was pretty good too, I thought.
Kilgore was great.
And Black Panther,
I'm just saying, no. The Black Panther was a great movie. I think Kilgore was a great bad guy, but I think Thanos was the best villain we've seen in any superhero movie, even the DC movies too. I mean, he was just like unstoppable, right? Like that's what you want in a villain. Someone where
they humanized him a little bit too, And he gave him a little bit of a purpose.
Sort of a semi backstory from him, and they humanized him, made him emotional. He's crying.
Yeah.
Right? I thought, from all the sort of not rumors, but like hearing people talk about the movie, it's like, all right, someone dies. So automatically I read the comics, right? Just from the comics, I'm thinking Captain America dies.
Right.
Like he just kills Gamora just like it's nothing. It's like
drops her off the ledge. Well, he had to make the sacrifice and the whatever else, I was certain that even not knowing the comics and whatnot, like this is too big of an ensemble cast to not let somebody go,
I thought it was Captain America, man. I thought Bucky was going to be the new Captain America, like in the comics. I was just like, all right, Captain America's going to sacrifice himself.
Yeah, because it was interesting because like Chris Evans said, he's got maybe one more Captain America movie and that's it, or like maybe this was his last movie or whatever it was. Like his contract was either running out or like this was it. So I was like, oh, this would be a good send off, kill him off and then have Bucky come in and take over. Right?
Well, he said he had one more in him because he. Avengers 4.
Right.
Avengers 4 is coming out.
Right.
Now, I will say my biggest complaint with the Avengers movie was the title. Because the original title that they had for the movie was Avengers Infinity War Part 1. And they changed it and they took the Part 1 out and made it in just Infinity War. And they said it was a standalone story. It is complete BS. It is not a standalone story. It is part one because we need to see in Infinity War or whatever they call it, the Avengers movie next year,
right?
Avengers 4. That's
such a minor quibble. Such a minor quibble. You're right, but it's such a minor quibble.
Well, it's minor, but it's still one of my griefs for the movie.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this.
Well, put it this way: I saw it with someone who, who didn't see all 19 movies. Okay. So the person I saw it with was like, "That's it? What are you talking? Like, this is whack. This is kind of corny. Like, that's it." And I'm like, "Yeah, like it's gonna be sort of part 2 the next movie."
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to be invested in all the heroes, and you got to know the characters and what they've gone through to get to this point, right? Otherwise you don't really care that much. You're just like, oh, here's a bunch of people that you're not going to get introduced to because you know all these characters already, most likely, right? So the intros are very brief. The people that don't know each other have maybe like a 5-minute introduction at best. Spider-Man and Doctor Strange was great. But it was like quick, and then they're like, oh, okay, now we know each other. Now we're good. All right. You're not going to get backstory to anybody except for Thanos. We got the Thanos backstory, which was good.
Well, they fit all these characters in, and they weren't all on the same screen at the same time, right?
Right. They all kind of got there was the whole Wakandan thing. They were kind of doing their own thing. There was Iron Man, Spider-Man, and like Doctor Strange were doing their own thing. It's very interesting.
Like everyone sort of was separated, and that was sort of like another like undertone of the movie is sort of like divide and conquer, right? Yep. Because they were all divided. They weren't the Avengers fighting as a unit. They weren't the Guardians of the Galaxy fighting as a unit. They were all like sort of separated. Half of the team was here, half of the team was over here. So, as soon as I saw like they were being divided, I was just like, oh my god, they're gonna do this. This is gonna be like not a good ending. Like I don't think this is gonna be a good ending. He got all 6 Infinity Stones.
Right.
Doctor Strange saw like 1 million different possibilities and was like, we only won one.
Right. Only one outcome.
But did he, reveal how they won? Right? Because he gave up the time stone to save Iron Man's life, to save Tony Stark's life, which I thought he was going to die. I was like, oh my God, no, it's not Captain America, it's Iron Man. Oh my God, Iron Man's going to die.
Right. Well, the thing of it is like, it's just like what happened with, I think the Doctor Strange movie, right? He used his time stone to get the villain Dormammu in that like time paradox, right? He just kept playing the thing over and over again, right? So, as he said, I saw all the possible outcomes. There's one outcome, so he knows how it plays out. So, obviously, Doctor Strange is kind of the linchpin here. He's put some sort of spell in place or whatever. He's going to give him the stone. And in the next movie, there's going to be some like time rewind thing. And everyone's going to come back. Except for Gamora, because Gamora's dead. I think.
Well, no. Because if you look, remember, Vision should be dead. Right? But he took the time stone, reverse time. Vision's alive. Took the stone out of his head.
Right.
So there has to be a way where... Well, first of all, if that's the case, because people are disappearing, Black Panther's gone. Right. Spider-Man's gone. And just as a side note, I like the way they had like Spider-Man. He's a kid, right? Yep. Like he's essentially a high school kid, a nerd who's in the middle of a galactic war, and he's like fading away, right? Like what would a kid do in this
freak
instance?
Out, man.
He's scared, and he's like, help me, I'm scared. He literally is like crying. He's like, I'm disappearing. What the hell's happening to me? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to disobey you and come when you told me not to come. Right. Like, and that like hits Tony, that hits Iron Man's like at his core. Like that hit me when I was watching it. Right. Like I was like, wow, like, whoa, I'm a little teary-eyed, even though Black Panther went away with no, like, he just disappeared.
Right. I mean, they can't. I mean, look. The reason I know that all these people are coming back is most of them have movies coming out right after the Avengers. So they
Black
can't
Panther
die in that
2
universe.
has already like been greenlit.
Right, exactly.
It can't come out before the Avengers 4.
Right, exactly. So they have to come back. They have to come back with those people. And I think Doctor
Hulk.
Strange is going to be the linchpin.
And we saw a little bit of the Hulk, and he's scared to come out because he got his butt kicked, right? Like I think the Hulk on part 4 is going to be like the trump card, right? Like he's finally going to be like, for some reason,
he has
he's
to go
come
Hulk
out of
out.
his shell.
Well, he was in the trailer. He was in the trailer as Hulk. There were some scenes in the trailer that were not in the movie.
Yes.
Now, were they there just to throw us off or whatever, or was that like part of part 2 possibly? Who knows? Who knows?
Really, I didn't remember seeing it. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, no. There was a specific scene with Captain America was leading the charge. Black Panther was behind him, and there was a big like uproar about that. Black Widow was there, and then in the background was Hulk running up like as the Hulk. Banner was all hulked out, and he was kind of running up, and that wasn't in the movie. They never had that scene in the movie.
Oh, wow. Maybe I never paid attention to that scene. I don't remember that scene.
Yeah.
It's weird to see Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster. He's essentially Iron Man.
Yeah. It also looked weird too. Like he was just kind of like laying there. Like it didn't really feel right.
Well, because he doesn't know what to do. He's not used to being Iron Man. He's used to being the Hulk. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just like the fact that they're in Wakanda, right?
Right.
And Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner, like the White Wolf, like Bucky gets a new arm, and everyone's in Wakanda. Get this man a shield. I wish they would have been more of a Captain America type shield.
Right.
He had more of a Wakandan shield.
Yeah.
I dug it. I will say this.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was a solid movie. For all its little flaws and whatnot, it's still an entertaining movie.
Well, look, Thor. Okay, the one part I thought was kind of cheesy. So Thor, and if you didn't see Thor Ragnarok, spoilers. I'm sorry. Well, this is Avengers spoilers, so Thor Ragnarok spoilers too. He loses his eye in Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
So he has an eye patch, just like Odin has an eye patch.
Yep.
He has one eye, right? So I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to do the whole movie with an eye patch, where somewhere halfway through the movie they were like, all right, Rocket's going to give him sort of like a robotic eye because you know how Rocket is. He likes to steal eyes from people, but he likes to steal body parts. He wants to steal the arm of the White Wolf.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like he's always trying to steal body parts. So they gave him a robot, sort of like a fake eye to put in his eye socket. So I guess, he can play Thor with both eyes.
Right.
He gets his hammer back. It's the hammer that goes to that alien Thor. Remember that alien looking Thor in the comics and in the trading cards?
Right.
That's more like half hammer, half axe, right? Odin gave it to him, but in the movie, Thor wields it. I was shocked that they did. I honestly thought that they would bring like another Asgardian type of person, in. But I kind of like the way they did it. I kind of like the fact that he has this sort of hammer / axe, right? It makes me feel like I'm playing God of War and he has an axe, right? So this sort of like ties into what's going on in current events.
Well, current movie events, I guess.
Well, current life events. I'm playing God of War.
As in you're playing God of War going on with this. Yeah.
So I kind of like that. A lot of these guys aren't on the screen together, so we don't have a Captain America, Iron Man on screen together because obviously they have history. We don't, even Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson's at the end of the movie.
Cameo. Yeah.
Cameo and credits where he disappears.
That's right.
Before he
Sam Jackson and Colby Smulders. I forget what her character name is, but she was one of the agents in the whole SHIELD organization. So like they both disappear right at the end of the movie because Thanos kills like half the population because that's what Thanos does. And Sam Jackson gets like a call on a beeper, right? And he fades away, and then the beeper drops, and it's the symbol for Miss Marvel.
Old school beeper, baby. That's how we did it. That's how we did it back in the 90s.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like after Ant-Man and the Wasp. Then I believe Miss Marvel I think, is the next movie.
Yes, which is sort of like a prequel. It's when Sam Jackson had both eyes.
Right. So this is gonna like take place in the 90s and whatnot. It's gonna tie into the whole universe and the next Avengers movie, which is why they had that kind of scene at the end. So I thought that was like really cool. You know, she may kind of play into how they're gonna save everybody and like kind of like reverse time.
Well, you know, I mean, it was weird how the only person that wasn't in the movie was Ant-Man, right?
However, well, Ant-Man and Hawkeye, they were both not in the movie.
Ant-Man and Hawkeye. You know what? I forgot about Hawkeye.
That's right. That's right.
I wonder if Hawkeye is going to be in a new Ant-Man and Wasp movie, right? Like, is that why he's not in this movie? Because he's in the Wasp movie?
I don't know. I mean, they basically explained it like they're on some sort of sabbatical. They're like taking a break from doing their superhero thing or whatever, I think.
No. They said they like caught up with something. They said they were caught. Like, first of all, they don't know the Wasp exists. They don't know the Wasp exists because
no. But I mean, they specifically said
new movie.
They specifically said why Ant-Man and like Hawkeye weren't there, you know, for whatever reason. They explained that away.
Yeah, they sort of it was like a throwaway. It was like, yeah, they're busy doing something. Which with the Ant-Man and Wasp movie that's coming out, I guess we'll explain that, and then we're gonna have a movie for Miss Marvel, which, you know what, hopefully, you know, she's gonna come and hopefully save the day.
Right.
I just want to talk about the end of Infinity War. I mean, it's part one. Obviously, it's part one.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, in the comics, Thanos sort of gets all 6 stones and does sort of like wipe out, you know, humanity, like life on a lot of planets. And he just sits there. He retires. He's a farmer.
Yep.
And he's like looking at like a sunset, right? So I didn't think they would do that in the movies. But they did. He, at the end of Infinity War, the gauntlet, he made, you know, Thor sort of like threw his axe/hammer into his chest. He makes this, you know, Thanos says, "You should have hit me in the head," and he makes this power move with the gauntlet, and the gauntlet is shattered, sort of. And you know, he has this sort of memory, like this thing with young baby Gamora. And it's like, you know, did you accomplish everything you wanted to do? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, at what cost? And then all of a sudden he disappears and he's just chilling on a farm looking at the sunset. Yeah. So they did it, and that's how the movie ended.
Yep.
They had some real balls to make that ending, I gotta say. That's part one. That's you know, they threw me for a curve because they took away part one. They took away the title part one, and they said this was a standalone movie. So I was expecting everything to be done, like them to beat Thanos, and maybe Thanos comes back for part two. This is not a standalone movie. This will play into part two.
Yeah, very much so.
And I gotta say, I kind of like it. It's refreshing. It's something different. DC, man, take notice, because this is what Justice League should have been with like Darkseid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think DC can do what Marvel does. I mean, they've tried and tried again. They have one good movie in their DCU, and that's Wonder Woman. Everything else is trash.
All right, no, I have to stop you there. I liked Batman v Superman.
Yes, we all know you like Batman v Superman. It is still not a good movie, though.
No, it's a good movie with the extended cut. You got to watch. You
watch it's a better movie with the extended cut. It's still not that great.
They all make sense.
Yeah. Well. I think on that note, that's gonna wrap up episode 116 of the Rated G for Gamers podcast. We want to thank you guys for sticking with us, for listening to the show, for being the awesome, excellent fans that you are. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, YouTube, and Vero at Rated G for Gamers. You can always email us at info@ratedgforgamers.com. So please like, listen, subscribe, and as always,
keep gaming.